SG, land back, SG. We love you. Land back. Ooh, land back, Tupac. Land back. Hey, we see you. Don't cuss. Okay. Land back, Chief Oju. Land back. So again, we're gonna go through chapter 2. Hope y'all got to read that backs ready, and enjoying this morning. So I think we're gonna get in. What we're gonna get into is we're gonna talk a little bit about fundraising, right? Because you know what Black Hammer is all about. We are building a dual contending power here. Okay, we are building a city, building Hammer City for all people of color, all colonized people. So regardless of nationality, gender, age, mental, physical differences, Hammer City is for you. We are for colonized people. So building a city like that takes money. That takes a lot of money. Yo, we're doing it for the people, though.
You haven't even told the people the best part.
What's the best part? What's the best part, Xolotl? What's the best part?
This city is going to have no cops, no rent, no coronavirus, and no white people.
What? What you talking about? What?
How you going to leave out the best part?
What are you talking about? Okay. So now that you know about Hammer City, a little bit about what Hammer City is going to look like, that sounds like the latest city ever. So I want to see some donations for Hammer City, y'all. So let me know in the comments how much you're donating, how much you can contribute to Hammer City. Every little bit counts, y'all. Our goal for today is going to be $100. Okay. Last week we went past that goal. So I know y'all can do the same thing this week. Okay.
Let's do it again. Let's do it again.
Do it again. Show that revolutionary love for the people. All right. So let me see how much we can fundraise right now. So let's get them coming. Let's go. I want to see like $5, $10.
And remember the Cash App and Venmo at Build Hammer City.
Yes, that's right.
And you can also go on GoFundMe too. We everywhere. Hammers
we
everywhere.
got 10. We got $3 from Chief Oju. Land back. Thank you so much, Chief Oju. That's right. $5 from Chief Sante. That's right. For our freedom. $5 from Chief Sante. Land back. Love you all. Let's keep getting these donations before we head into this book trap. I got $2 to start. Carolina, land back. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Every little bit counts. Let's keep coming, y'all. More donations. Where we at? Yes.
Retornando a nuestras tierras.
Yes, Johanna Martinez, thank you so much. Yes, that is our land, nuestras tierras. Muchas gracias. I got eight on it. Thank you so much, Chief. $5 from Kush King, land back. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's keep them coming, y'all. I be getting thirsty these days. Land back.
Oh, that's our new minister.
For real?
Yep.
For real? Speak
I got 5. No, but she ain't got 5 on it. Land back. Thank you.
Okay. Land back. We got 5 on it. Okay.
Lay got 10.
Lay got 10. Yes. $10 on it. Land back. We getting these donations coming in now.
No, we getting these donations.
Okay. Let's come on. I want to see 1 or 2 more donations before we start. Come on. I know you love colonized people. I know you love your people. You know. So let's see what we got.
Reparations. All right. 40 in reparations.
We got 40 on the
Land back, Lay.
Land back. That is beautiful. Thank you so much for your donations, y'all. Yeah, we might surpass this goal next time. So next up we got our book trap trivia. So you know what it is. Y'all been reading the book. Y'all been keeping up with us. So let's see. Let's test your knowledge a little bit this morning. Wake y'all up real quick. Oh, we got $5. Bienvenidos mi comunidad hispana. Yes, Land Back. Thank you so much for your donation. Land Back $5. So yeah, this trivia. So question for today: how many founding members did the EZLN have in their founding year in 1983? So you got 4 options: A, 6, B, 11, C, 24, or D, 29. How many founding members? How many founding members? All right, drop what you think the answer is in the comments. I want to see y'all guess what you think it is, and then we will announce the answer. Oh, we got a comment from Kwasi. Yeah, drop the. Ooh, excuse me. Drop your answers in the comments. I'm a Black African man, and I think we got a shout out. Yeah. Black African man, I have no idea what y'all are doing, but it sounds good, and I wish Black people would do this for ourselves. So yes, we are doing it for ourselves. We're not just indigenous people over here. We are colonized people here. Okay, Black Hammer. We are colonized people coming together. We are united. So that is like indigenous people, Black people, Asian people, all indigenous peoples around the world, y'all. So we are taking this land back. You got a couple answers. Where are we looking at, Daniel? Or Xolotl? Where are we looking at, Xolotl?
We're looking at A6. That's right. It was 6.
Yeah. So if you guess A, you're right. If you guess something else, I don't know. You might need to donate to Hammer City. Just saying. But yes, thank you so much for participating in that trivia. Yeah, they started out with 6 members. With 6 founding members. I believe 3 of them were like urban guerrillas from like the city, like trained Marxists, and they came like to Chiapas, el estado de Chiapas, en las montañas indígenas. But yeah, let's thank you so much for participating in the trivia. So we're about to get started with our first read that back. Remember, we're on chapter 2, only chapter 2 for today. So our first read that back. Xolotl, do you want to go ahead and read that one?
Yeah. All right, y'all. Binding indigenous communities to them through resources provided by the INI. State and local elites effectively undermine the traditional processes of law, custom, prestige, and authority upon which the indigenous communities had relied for so long. By the 1970s, the indigenous communities surrounding San Cristobal had bilingual teachers from the ruling Institutional Revolutionary Party as their municipal presidents. Tellingly, these presidents were described not in terms of Mayan tradition, but rather as caciques, bosses, a term drawn from Mexican national political culture. As these PRI bosses imposed political control and unity within their jurisdictions, the communities of Los Altos were also changing demographically. As medical services improved, death rates declined, but birth rates did not, and communities found themselves faced with the serious problem of an increasing population with limited available resources, including land. The unity of the communities was thus at a critical breaking point. Land back. I think this really speaks to
It's really speaking the principle of unity, number 1. Like, at least when I was reading it, like this week, and that states like that all colonized people should have dictatorship over their lives, their land, their labor, their resources, and just within the context of like that read that back, that whole section goes into it goes into how the local, like before the Zapatistas were were like even like created, right? The EZLN, and it describes like the material conditions of the indigenous communities of the Estado de Chiapas, and right, it describes how these like political bosses have just like stripped them of everything, right? Stripped them of well, we say we need dictatorship over, right? Laying back. What do you think, Dale?
Yeah, I wanted to really go into the caciques, bosses, and that's not like an indigenous term to like the people of Chiapas. This was like really something that came from the centralized state of Mexico, and it was really telling how the state really tried to impose like such like traditions and new systems onto the indigenous people of Chiapas. That's just like another way that colonialism in the state tries to rob these people of their identity, and their own culture. Um, it might not seem like such a big deal, like the state might even see like, oh, we're improving these indigenous savages or something like that. But these traditions, these cultures, these practices have been ingrained in them for maybe hundreds of years, and it's thousands even. In these traditions have worked for for indigenous folks, and there's just no reason why we should like these traditions and these practices on how they run their own communities should be stripped away. Yeah.
Right. No, I want to like again like come back to that point of the Mexican state, right? Really justifying the like whole like change up of indigenous communities in Chiapas and like the surrounding areas of right, like saying like they're and even it talks about it in the book, like in the like going back to the first chapter, like this idea of like improving indigenous communities, right? And like progress for indigenous communities, right? The INI, which is like this like was it the Institute of like the National Institute for like Indigenous People is like the translation in English, but right, they like the state creates these whole like institutes, right? These whole like groups for like a certain like race of people, and like to try and advance their like the cause, but it only ends up again like stripping people of what we at Black Hammer like really unite under is like dictatorship over our lives. And the state would much rather like the state would much rather see it in their hands, right? These like neo-colonial sellouts, which like the Mexican state was found under, like they would much rather like strip that away from these indigenous communities. That ain't what Black Hammer's about, though. we ain't about that. No, but that's some yes, Chief Oju. Our people moved around these continents and around these islands for thousands of years already. Yes, like we know how to survive on this continent, right? We know we have like this just vast knowledge and experiences that inform us as indigenous people on this continent. And how you just gonna have you just gonna have something like the INI say, nope, you're wrong. Nope. That's not what we're about. We don't unite with that kind of power, with that state. We unite under our leadership, right?
Yes, we love that unity as well.
But Lay, I love you even more though. It's like I love, yes, we love unity, land back, Chipsa, land back. Yes, we love that unity as well. Saludos desde Panama's in the house. Panama's in the house. What up? Saludos a usted también. Hey, who's that? Abdiel de Leon. Yes, land back, Michelle. Land back. Yes, honor our treaties, right? Well, actually, like, I'm gonna take that back. We we shouldn't even be having these treaties with these colonizers, right? Like these treaties were just set up to like rob us of our land, like. And at the end of the day, it's land back, right? It's land back all day. Like
Todo el día.
todo el día, got every day of the week. But no, definitely land back. We don't need no treaties for that. We don't need no treaties to get our land back. We doing it ourselves. So up next, what we got up next? Cholo, what we got up next? What's going on here? Tell me, brother. Lead me, guide me.
Let's get some read that backs from the people watching.
Yes.
Y'all got some read that backs? Drop them. We'd love to hear them.
Drop them in the comments.
Drop them in the comments.
Yes.
We want to see some read that backs from y'all.
Yes, for sure. Drop your read that backs in comments. We are gonna be chilling here. We're gonna be with y'all here. But we know y'all been keeping up with the Zapatistas, our revolutionary ancestors. So what did you get from the chapter? We want to hear from y'all. So as we wait for that, Cholo, what I guess what stuck out to you? Or actually, we got a comment. We got a comment from Chief Oju. Yes, treaties are just colonizers pretending they get to negotiate their theft at the point of a gun. We can be the true leaders without treaters. Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. That you said it better than I did. I think. Yes, they're just pretending, right? They're pretending like these like treaties are ways for colonizers to pretend like they are respecting our land, respecting our dictatorship over our lives, but it's a lie. like all colonizers do. They be lying. So these treaties are a lie. No, at the end of the day, yeah, they're just lies that they were going to break in the first place. So yes, land back. Let's get some read that backs. Where the read that back? Let me see. I want to see. Hey, we got to read that back here. Cholot, what you got? What? Go ahead and read it.
Unfortunately, since the state maintained a monopoly on land redistribution, the winning of these ejidos relied upon the favor of political elites, thus encouraging the rise of another generation of caciques who sought to maintain unity and establish links to local and regional elites.
Right, and Chief Oju, you pointed back to point of unity number 3, right? These neo-colonial sellouts. Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, like it is such a like reoccurring story with the revolutionary struggles of our people, right? We always come up with these neo-colonial sellouts that are like working within the state or with the state to again like only solidify like their power, right? Solidify the power of the neo-colonial sellouts, right? Not the power of the colonized people. No, that's such. I was when I read that when I was reading that section of chapter 2, I was infuriated. I was like, how like cómo les van a robar la tierra de la gente que ha estado en esa tierra. I don't know. It does not make sense at all to me, especially as a colonized person. But yeah, any other read that backs? Any other ones? Let me see. We got one or not. If not, that's cool. Hey, all right. So I think we're gonna keep moving it. Thank you so much for that. Read that back, Chief Oju. Definitely we always need to be calling out these neocolonial sellouts. Every like, because they are everywhere. There's no shortage of them. So let's keep going, y'all. This is fun. I'm awake. I got my coffee. I can do this all day. What we got? We got our next read that back, right? Yes. All right. Bet. Cholo, you want to read it, Cholo?
I did the first one. You want to take care of this one? I know you can do it.
Why you putting what? Okay. All right, fine. I will. Let me see. All right. I'll take care of the next one then. All right. Why you gotta expose me like that though? This ain't no brotherly love here. All right, so I'm gonna read the second one, and then we're gonna come back to the audience read that back. So if y'all got another one, like there's an opportunity to drop it there, or you can drop it whenever, right? We'll always come back to it. All right. So yeah, let me get into this. Instead of arriving directly from the city or the university, the EZLN emerged out of La Montaña, that magical world inhabited by the whole of Mayan history, by the spirits of ancestors, and by Zapata himself. While Marcos had come to teach politics and history to the indigenous of Chiapas, he quickly discovered that this revolutionary education, steeped in its own assumptions, made no sense to the communities. The emergent politics of this encounter, and what would ultimately become Zapatismo, required a new language, one that was born of the urban revolutionaries' critical reading of Mexican history and current economic and political context, combined with the community's own histories of genocide, racism, suffering, and exclusion. This new political discourse would achieve its most powerful form once it was translated into the local Mayan languages. Land back. So yeah, I really wanted to bring this one forward. Just read that back to y'all. Because when I first of all, when I read La Montaña, I knew exactly what that meant, right? And it's not just because it's italicized in the text. La Montaña, that magical world, and that, like, I almost felt that in my heart, right? Of like our revolutionary ancestors coming from Las Montañas, coming from their own lands, right? These magical worlds that are like do seem to have like this magic to them because of their relationship to the land. And so that really spoke to me. And that's one reason why I wanted to bring that forward. It feels so beautiful to me, right? Reading about like just the idea of it's not just a montaña, right? It is their ancestral home. But bringing this to y'all, and another part of why I brought this to y'all was, the last part where it talks about this, the whole like political discourse, and like the merging of like the urban revolutionaries' critical reading and the indigenous community's own histories, right? And what it says is that these became powerful once it was translated into local Mayan languages. And so for like, that is very much like me, like the Zapatistas, like meaning the people where they're at, right? And for me, like I compare it to like our point of unity number 2, right? Where we unite that all colonized people are equal regardless of race, gender, sexuality, age, mental and physical differences, etc. And the one difference that they saw was language, right? Was that there were a lot of local Mayan languages spoken in that region, right? And so what these revolutionaries did was not, oh, well, they'll figure it out, or we'll teach them Spanish, right? That's what that's what people in Mexico, right? In as like mestizos, right? That's what they speak, you know. So we'll teach them that. That's not what they did. Not at all what they did. They went and they translated their own politics for the people, right? So that it's accessible to the people, so that they can be like recruited to be in the EZLN, right? And so again, like meeting people where they're at, recognizing that these differences matter, and that we need to overturn like how these differences like separate us, right? Because it could have been where the Zapatistas like keep everything in Spanish, and like it's inaccessible, like no, like and it just further divides people in that area. So I really thought that was key in understanding like what made the Zapatistas like successful, right? Is the fact that they also united in with the local people, right? By translating it. Yes. Yeah, they translated the language. They didn't teach them that colonizer language to get them to understand. again, like that Spanish is a colonizer language.
It is.
At the end of the day. But yeah, it like just that little section was just jam packed so much beauty, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah.
What you want to say, Cholo?
Yeah, I think this excerpt also goes into point of unity number 4, into realizing that these poor working class indigenous people are the leaders of the revolution.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much echoing what my brother also said, that these urban revolutionaries, they saw that these poor indigenous folks could be leaders, and then just disregard them as just followers or people that wouldn't be contributors to the revolution. Contrary to that sentiment, they saw them as these people will be leaders, and that's what point of unity number 4 states. And that's what we at Black Hammer are looking for. We're looking for new leaders for our revolution, and that's what.
Right. And that's exactly what we're looking for, right?
Any poor working class colonized person can be a leader in this revolution. We truly believe that.
Yep.
All of us believe that.
That's right, and that's and that it shows up in like for us and like as Hammers, like that shows up especially when we're doing outreach, right? Especially when we're in the hoods, right? At the bus stop, right? At the swap meet, right? At the nail salon, like that's where like that those are our future, those are the leaders, right, of our revolution, right? And as much as like people want to think about like a like revolutionary needs to have like such and such degree, or like have read such and such, like no, revolutionaries have come from las montañas, from our ancestral lands. That's where they come from, right? And so I think we had a comment. I think we had a comment from someone, from Michelle. Yes, I agree. Spanish is a colonizing language. So is French. Yes, exactly. These colonial schools. These colonial schools be playing games with our babies, right? We playing games with our colonized children, right? I know that. I used to work at a school, and they be doing that all the time. No, they only be teaching those colonizer languages, right? And that's right. That's true for schools in like the U.S., but also like a lot of other schools in other colonized nations. But yes, thank you so much for that comment, Michelle. Land back. So no, all this is beautiful. Yes, sí, la revolución proviene de las montañas. Exactly, right? That's where it comes from. Viene de las montañas. Nuestra gente de las montañas son los líderes. Esa es nuestra gente. And we love them. We love our people. No matter where they come from. And we unite with their leadership. Hand back. Let's keep it moving, y'all. Let's keep it moving. I think
so. We got more fundraising coming up. I know that y'all actually showed up at the beginning. We're at 96 right now.
$96. $96, y'all. We are $96 closer right now. $96 closer to Hammer City being a reality. But gotta keep it pushing. We gotta keep it moving, y'all. Keep pushing. So let's get some more donations to Hammer City. Again, Hammer City is gonna be lit. Hammer City is gonna have no cops, no rent, no coronavirus, and no white people, y'all. It is a city for us as colonized people. I know it's wild, so wild. We're at 106 right now. Actually, we're at 106. What? We're gonna keep it going. We're 106. We have
we got a donation 4. We got 4 from Leia.
Land back, Leia. Thank you.
Back. Nick showing up 14. Land back, Nick.
Land back.
Land back.
Land back. We got $14 on it from Nick. Hey, thank you so much. What else? Who else donated to Hammer City?
Who else wants to be free? Who else wants to live in the city with no rent, no cops, no coronavirus, and no white people? Who else wants that? Huh?
Es muy importante educar a nuestros hijos desde muy pequeños. Muchísimas gracias por todo. Thank you, Johanna. Thank you. Muchas gracias a usted por venir a este educación política en la mañana. Ya sé que es muy difícil venir en la mañana porque necesitamos un poco de cafecito, pero
estamos aquí para nuestra gente.
Sí, nuestra
gente. We're here for our people. We're here for our people. Not just the indigenous ones. Not just indigenous. We're here for Africans. We're here for Asians. We're here for everyone. Everyone colonized. We're here for all y'all. Let's get some more donations, y'all. Come on. We passed our goal for 100. I know, but I know we could do better. Another 2 from Carolina.
Hey, another $2.
Thank you.
I know. I'm learning. I'm learning so much too. Yes, Land Back. Thank you so much for your donations. What else? Who else donated to Hammer City? Remember, the Cash App and Venmo is at Build Hammer City. GoFundMe. In the GoFundMe is GoFundMe.com/Build Hammer City. So make sure you donate because Hammer City is a reality. Okay, it is not a myth. It is. We don't play games here. We do it for our people. So. Anyone else donate? Any more donations? Anyone? If not, you can always donate later. But thank you so much for your donations. What we got next? Xolotl. What we got next?
It looks like we got to read that back right here. On page 67, as discussed in the previous chapter, thanks to the liberal reform laws and the modern project of capitalist development, indigenous communities had been freed from the shackles of tradition to sell their labor on the open market. Of course, rather than the realization of a liberal utopia, this freedom opened the door to new and expansive forms of exploitation. For generations, indigenous families had worked as indentured labor on coffee, sugar, and cattle estates. Is there more to this? Read that back.
Yeah, I think there should be.
Yes.
Set them 3 nuts. No, it doesn't. Okay, it doesn't look like there is. Okay, Land Back. No, thank you so much for that. Read that back, Chief Lay. Yeah, that's for me. That screams like building for the state and building for these neo-colonial sellouts, right? Mm-hmm. And again, like this idea of like how they push it to our people of like, like this is progress for y'all. Like y'all are no longer like weighed down, quote unquote, weighed down by like traditional indigenous like roles, traditional indigenous practices. Like now you can sell your labor on the free market. Doesn't that sound so great, y'all? Like no, no, it doesn't. It actually does not sound really great. It sounds terrible. Like the way they try to brainwash our people, it is disgusting. Like y'all get to no, and just the way they brainwash our people to again like build for build for something that doesn't work for them, right? And we see this in the U.S., we see this in other colonized nations like Mexico, literally working to make like coffee, and like do indigenous communities get that coffee? Are they benefiting from do they get some of that coffee? No, like that all of that is sold to other places. Mm-hmm. And like what you looking at me like you want something?
No, I'm looking at you because I'm in full unity. I'm also saying that the indigenous and the Zapatistas, that movement saw through that. They saw through that lie, and they said, nope, that's not good enough. That's not what we want. We're actually here for for dictatorship over our lives, labor, our resources.
Black Hammer sees through that lie. Black Hammer sees through those lies. We see through all lies because we are colonized people. We are brilliant, and we smell that from like 15 miles away, 30 miles away. From across the world, we smell it, and we can smell it. Yes, part of the Chief Oju, part of the colonizer scam, getting you off your land through trickery, just like the treaties. Exactly. Again, going back to that what we were talking about with treaties is like they're scams, right? And that's like only one of the scams that colonizers have, up their sleeve. So land back. Thank you so much for that comment. Yeah, this chapter is like exposing white power and these tricks.
Hey, we got another read that back.
Hey, read that back.
Let's see. In this setting, the community ruled while the authorities obeyed. This relationship exemplifies the key Zapatista democratic notion of commanding, obeying, as all authority and legitimacy in this case reside in the community and in the assembly rather than in military strongmen or political bosses. Land back. Appreciate that. Read that back.
Where? What you think, man? Cholo, what you think?
I'm in full unity. It just really goes back to these bosses. I think the word caciques. It's the same stuff really. That we've been talking about with principally unity number 3 about these neo-colonial sellouts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Again, yeah. And then y'all love exposing neo-colonial sellouts over here. Honestly, I love it too. No, I love the energy. I love the energy y'all bring. It is the voice of our people, right? If you go in, our people know how to smell it, right? And they're always expressing it, in different ways, right? When you're having like dinner with your families, right? Out in the streets, on the bus stops, like they express it out there, right? But there's a revolutionary organization that not only expresses but unites with fighting it, right? With fighting these neo-colonial sellouts, with uniting under the true leadership, like of the colonized working class. So that's why Black Hammer's so lit. What we got next? What's up? I know we got to keep pushing. Let's see what we got next. We had some good audience read that backs. Honestly, salute to y'all in the comments. And salute to y'all who's for tuning in. We got our next. Excuse me. We got our next read that back. This one's a little lengthy.
It is lengthy.
Oh, but we gonna get it. We're gonna do it because it is. I didn't know this about the Zapatistas, right? And people, I always see like images of like the Zapatistas, and I see a lot of women, right? With like the pictures and like interviews that Zapatistas done, like I see a lot of women, right? And I think that's like very, very unique, with especially with like indigenous communities, right? Like indigenous women like at the front. And so I didn't know how that came about, but let's read that back's gonna like explain a lot about it. And honestly, there's this whole section that like talks about the importance of indigenous women and their struggle, like pre like EZLN, and even during the EZLN, right? So I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna let you read it.
All right, y'all. In their just fight for the liberation of our people, the EZLN incorporates women into the revolutionary struggle, regardless of their race, creed, color, or political affiliation, requiring only that they share the demands of the exploited people and that they commit to the laws and regulations of the revolution. In addition, taking into account the situation of the woman worker in Mexico, the revolution supports their just demands for equality and justice in the following revolutionary women's law. First, women, regardless of their race, creed, color, or political affiliation, have the right to participate in the revolutionary struggle in a way determined by their desire and ability. Second, women have the right to work and receive a fair salary. Third, women have the right to decide the number of children they will bear and care for. Fourth, women have the right to participate in the affairs of the community and to hold positions of authority if they are freely and democratically elected. Fifth, women and children have the right to primary attention in matters of health and nutrition. Sixth, women have the right to education. Seventh, women have the right to choose their partner and are not to be forced into marriage. Eighth, women shall not be beaten or physically mistreated by their family members or by strangers. Rape and attempted rape will be severely punished. Ninth, women will be able to occupy positions of leadership in the organization and to hold military ranks in the Revolutionary Armed Forces. 10th, women will have all the rights and obligations elaborated in the revolutionary laws and regulations.
Land back. So this revolutionary women's law was presented by the indigenous women of the EZLN, and I love this. I love the story that one of the women gives about it. Um, there was this there's this indigenous man that said, um, um, like he and like other indigenous men were like resistant to this, right? This was something that was brand new to this indigenous community of women having like being equal to men, right? And having like this control, over their lives and their body. And so he remarks, he said, well, I'm glad my wife doesn't like speak Spanish, right? So that she can't like read any of this like revolutionary law. And this Zapatista woman, she like turns around, and she's like, well, we're just gonna translate it into Mayan so that she can read it. That's what we're gonna do. Like, yes, that is the energy every day, and the energy we need every day. Like we're not dealing with that machismo. We're not dealing with that machismo over here. Like what you talking about? I love that energy, but definitely like this shows that Zapatistas knew that, um, like for indigenous men and indigenous women, like there needed to be equality, right? Especially the indigenous women recognize this, um, and it needed to have this equality with men in the EZLN, and that like I bring that back to our principle of unity number 2. Again, we were recognizing like um, all colonized people are equal regardless of race, sexuality, gender, etc. Um, right. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Oju. Principle of unity number 2 handles all our people to get them included like this. Right. Exactly. Um, Main difference is that we don't need to have identity-based principles because number 2 covers all of us. Right. Yes. Principle of unity covers all of us. Land back, Frankie. It covers all of us, regardless of any differences that these like colonialism has put between us. Yes, the autonomy, right? The autonomy of all colonized people, right? And that is what Black Hammer we unite under. And so for that, like for the Zapatistas to recognize that, especially the women, was beautiful, right? They recognized that they needed to have autonomy over their lives because clearly, and it explains in that section, like indigenous women prior to the EZLN did not have like autonomy even over like who they would marry, right? And they would be like carrying carry a lot of like the roles in the family and the community, take care of like a lot of the cooking, as it explains in the chapter. And so indigenous women in order to like really participate in this revolutionary struggle, really set this out of they set that out of like we need autonomy, we need again dictatorship over our lives, control over our lives, and in order to be part of this revolutionary struggle. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Land back.
Land back. Yeah. I really wanted to touch on in the women's revolutionary law. I wanted to touch on number 4 and number 9. So 4 was women have the right to participate in the affairs of the community and to hold positions of authority if they are freely and democratically elected. I think that being such a patriarchal society in the Western world, it was I guess pretty revolutionary for like to have this in law and stating that no like women can hold these positions of authority and participate, have such a great influence in the revolution because as it goes back to point of unity number 2, as Cuahatli explained. Um, uh, we don't discriminate. We love all our people. It doesn't matter what sex, race, everything. That doesn't matter. And also going back to more like of the machismo, that women will be able to occupy positions of leadership in the organization and hold military ranks in the Revolutionary Armed Forces. I think like it goes back to especially here in the United States, pretty much almost every colonizer military in the world about um, stopping women rising up in armed forces. It goes back to that machismo on the Zapatista said no, that's no, that's not it. Women can hold positions even in the armed forces in these like like these supposed like boy clubs, because we know like there's always been like some boy clubs, in certain sectors, but Zapatistas like quickly squashed that. That's what I love.
Yeah, and that just reminds me of a lot of other like revolutionary women that have served in like revolutionary armed forces. I'm thinking like, oh, why can't I remember? Why can't I remember their name? They were in the DPRK. Damn. Chief says is gonna give me a whooping for for getting that name. But no, hopefully it'll come to me. So I need to get whooped. But yes, a lot of yes, like there is this tradition in other colonized nations of revolutionary women, um, you know, participating in armed struggle. So no, so yeah, salute to the Zapatistas. Salute to the Zapatistas. Pride of easy land, but it usually started post-colonialism. Um, yes, thank you for that comment. The fact that BHO has been able to sum all of, yes, Doobie, the fact that BHO has been able to sum all our unifying values in 4 points, it's absolutely incredible. It's so clear. I love us. I love us too.
I love us.
I love us too. Yeah, that's it's four principles. Four principles is like all we need to unite our people and to carry out this revolutionary struggle across the world, right? Because we are global. We are across the world. Yes, that's I love us. I like the brilliance in creating these four principles and unifying under these four principles. Um, I feel like I kind of got off track a little bit, but
Nah, we good. I mean, there's a lot to get through, but
right, it is a lot. It is a lot to get through.
But we want to hear some, more read that backs from y'all.
Yeah, keep dropping them. Always drop them in the comments. Always like we'll get to those read that backs. I promise we will. Because we want to hear from y'all. What did you get from the chapter? What did y'all like take away from it? So let's get some read that backs. Let's see. Drop them in the. You can drop them in the comments right now. Let's see what we got. I think we may have another. We may have another read that back. Let's see. No. Where'd it go? Yes. Do we have another read that back? No, I think we do have a we do have a read that back. Yeah.
Let's go over it.
Yes. Get over there.
Don't know. I'll read it. When the Zapatistas say no to the seizure of power, what they are simultaneously affirming is the necessity of the creation of a new kind of political space, not limited to conventional notions of revolution. In the words of John Holloway, the revolutions of the 20th century failed because they aimed too low, not because they aimed too high. The state is simply not enough because relations of domination, control, and exploitation are not limited to it. As Holloway asserts, we need a new conception of revolution and a new kind of radical politics, one in which dignity operates as a central concept. If dignity is taken as a central principle, then people cannot be treated as means. The creation of a society based on dignity can only take place throughout the development of social practices based on mutual recognition of that dignity. Dialogue and engagement are only possible among members of a society who do not wish to dominate or rule one another. So Zapatismo fundamentally rejects the notion of a seizure of power. Land back.
I do want to preface this by saying like there are a lot of things that and like there are a lot of things within like this like political like philosophy of the Zapatistas that seem to suggest that like the Zapatistas were I guess they rejected that like notion of the seizure of power, which like I don't want to say like was like a downfall or like yeah, I don't want to speak too badly about it, but um, um, I don't know. It's this weird dynamic with the Zapatistas, right? Where um they believe that there's like these communities, like different communities should have like again like this dictatorship over what happens in their land and in their communities, right? Which is very much with like a principle of unity number one. Um, but yeah, just to the idea of like seizing of power, just it seems um, a bit counter to um, I guess like maybe like ultimately like freeing our people, right? Um, is that we recognize that there is like this power, right? Colonialism, right? That is dominating, ruling our lives as colonized people, and so for us, it's like we gotta overturn that colonial contradiction, right? Part of that is seizing power, right? We recognize that we've gotta um, um, that we do have to like take back that power, um, and so yeah, it's that notion of like rejecting the seizing of power. Um, yeah, it's like counter to um to Black Hammer because to be honest, like we can't have we can't pretend that we don't need power in order to free our people. We do, and to build that power within our colonized communities. Um, Anything you wanted to add, Cholo?
I think the words of John Holloway, the revolutions of the 20th century failed because they aimed too low, not because they aimed too high. Um, I, I I think
Yeah, Girasol. Yeah, I'm confused by that. Like, didn't they seize power when they seized power of their lands and communities? Right. Like, it, um, that like I did want to up because it's a little confusing, right? And we learn from our revolutionary ancestors not just by seeing the doves, but also seeing like places where they're a little confusing, right? We want to be able to like look back at all of our ancestors and be like, oh, like was that right? Like, did they move in the correct way? And it just seems like it's a little confusing, right? So we got to be learning from the dubs and the L's as much as possible, right? I do think they like seized like that seizure of land and communities, right? Is like a form of like seizing power. Um, Rand, they seemed hesitant to seize power. They were focused on seizing power for their dictatorship, but not for the entire nation. Is this correct? Yeah, that is correct. Like they had this, even though they had this um, this goal of marching to Mexico City, like that goal of like marching to Mexico City wasn't so much like seize the state, right? It was um, more of a call to action to other like indigenous communities in Mexico. Um, yeah, again, like what y'all thinking about this idea of like this rejection of like not seizing power? I want to hear from y'all. Whoop, Chief Girasol. Do you want to read that, Cholo?
but they didn't want to expand it out for other colonized communities. Maybe it was kind of individualistic, like we did it for our community, but not for colonized people of the world.
Yeah, that's yes. It is. I mean, yeah, it is definitely. It definitely seems a bit yeah, because that also makes me think about like how like other revolutionaries around the world also like they drew inspiration um, from the Zapatistas and how much like the rhetoric of the Zapatistas was about um, again like inspiring like um, other indigenous peoples around the world, right? Um, so again, like the action, like it seems like the actions aren't really matching up with the words, right? Like, like it also seems like the Zapatistas didn't want to be like quote unquote like a vanguard, right? Or like the ones to like wants to be that umbrella under which like other like indigenous communities would follow, right? Um, it's really interesting to read about like how they went about this, because again, I want to learn from y'all. Like, what are y'all thinking? In terms of how the Zapatistas went about it. The way I'm reading it is like, like y'all say you don't want to see power, but like y'all don't want to see power, but that doesn't seem to like overturn like this colonial contradiction, right? So it's so much to unpack there. So much to unpack. Yeah, I think I cut you off, Joel.
No, I just wanted, what was it? Revolutions of the 20th century failed because they aimed too low, not because they aimed too high. I think that speaks to, I guess, mostly Black Hammer, how we don't aim low, we aim high. I mean, I don't know how many of y'all have read the article on Black Hammer Times of our goals for 2021. We are aiming high for our goals for 2021, and we gotta aim high. We gotta aim high to get our people free. And when I read that, I'm like, okay, well, you know what? Yeah, we're not gonna fail because we're aiming low. That's not where we're gonna fail. We're not going to fail, and we can't fail. I just brought it back to like that Hammer Times article for our goals, and it got me fired up for what we need to do.
Shout out to Black Hammer Times. Shout out to Black Hammer Times every day, all day, every day. Shout out to them producing that revolutionary content for y'all. Yeah, it's again, yeah, we're not. Again, the Zapatistas were like they had all these different, they had this political philosophy that just, there's definitely a lot to unpack there. It's a roller coaster for sure. The one thing from that read that back that I do want to like end with is just where it talks about I guess what is it? We need a new conception of revolution and a new kind of radical politics. And again, they talk about like dignity, like where people cannot be treated as means. The creation of a society based on dignity can only take place through the development of social practices based on the mutual recognition of that dignity. To me, that speaks a lot to how like our again like pre-colonial like indigenous communities where people live at the expense of one another, where we actually had dignity among our people before colonialism. And so no, that part again, and that read that back like speaks to rebuilding that dignity for our colonized people. And again, that's what Black Hammer is all about, right? Building that power, building that dignity for our people through our principles of unity, through our articles on Black Hammer Times, through our political education, our workout classes, our defense trainings, and our outreach, our vigils. Like we are doing it, y'all. We are building that power, building that dignity for our people. Like every day, a hammer is working on building power and dignity for our people. Ran back. I think we are almost done. Yes. We got a special shout out though. Special shout out to the colonizers to end things. Do you want to do it, Cholo?
Yeah. So colonizers, y'all watching this, we need y'all to unite under our leadership, all right? Because in principle unity number 3, all problems colonized people face are from colonialism. That's y'all.
Mm-hmm.
So we need y'all to be in these colonizer classes. But we call it's now reparation corps now, all right? We've been kind of changing the name, but it's reparations corps now, all right? 6 p.m. Eastern every Sunday, all right? If y'all want to sign up, blackhammer.org/reparations. We know y'all got reparations to pay, all right?
Where they at? Where they at? We know you got them.
All right.
We know you got them.
So
Where they at?
remember, blackhammer.org/reparations. Sign up for the reparations corps.
Yes. Sign up. Again, we have solved the white question. Y'all need to pay reparations. And another announcement is next week for the book trap. Continuing on with the Zapatistas with myself, Cuahatli, and my brother Xolotl. Continuing on, we're going to be diving into chapter 3. That's next week. And before we go, how much did we raise?
Yeah, let's get a number.
Let's get our calculator. Our like, remember those huge calculators they would give out at school, the ones where they were changing the battery like every day. Oh my God. Well, how much did we raise? $131. What? We're $131 closer to Hammer City. That's so beautiful. 2 straight weeks. Y'all have blown past this $100 mark. Shout out to y'all. Salute to y'all.
Carolina wants to put another dollar on it.
132. There you
32.
go. 132. Right. I love even numbers. I love even numbers. 132 is good. Salute to Carolina. Thank you so much. Salute to y'all again. Salute to y'all. Lions got 10 on it. Lions got
all right.
This is love right here. This is love. This is real love for our people. 142. 142.
Hey, if someone got 8, we can get to 150. 150.
Eight.
If someone got 8 on it, we can get 150. Anyone.
We're not leaving until we get it. Comrade Dream donating 5. Is that 5 quid?
That's 5 pounds.
5 pounds.
What's the is that
$8?
Is 5 yeah. 5 is 5 pounds $8?
Fuck it.
All right, there we go.
Hey. We got 8 from Laya, and then another 8 8 from Kayla.
Yep.
Hope I pronounced that right. It's 7. Okay, it's $7.
But we got past 150. Y'all,
we got 100. We're past 150. I don't even know the exact amount now.
Y'all are awesome. Y'all are great. Y'all are hammers. I love y'all. We blew past our goal.
165. It's 165.
165. We got 165.
Oh Hey, that is beautiful. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna throw all the salutes. Just throw all the salutes through the screen to y'all.
Thank you everyone for donating. Thank y'all for joining us today, this morning. We're gonna see you next week. Keep showing that love. I love y'all. I love my brother.
Love y'all too. Land back to all of you. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Chapter 3. Remember, get your read that backs ready. And hammers, let's keep this work going. Land back.